Welcome to level 2 of Sir Click-a-Lot. Here we're going to be having a different dragon attacking from left to right, and they're trying to break through these castle walls. When they hit a wall, the wall goes away and they jump back to the left side. And if the dragon gets to the princess, then the level restarts. And we need to click on the dragons, which will actually not kill them, it'll just respawn them on the left side, but it looks like we killed them. And once we kill 10 dragons, then we advance to the next level. So, here's where we left off last time from level 1. Instead of just using the wall, we're actually going to need another sprite today. And this is going to be our castle door. And we're just going to load up a sprite. If you have these sprites, if you downloaded these, you can use them, or just make a plain old box or something if you'd like. And now that is just the image. It needs to be on an object. So obj castle door, and it's going to wear this sprite, and it's just solid. That's all it is. And we already have our goofy dragon sprite. That's what I'm going to use. So I'm going to create him as an object. Goofy dragon. And he's going to wear the Goofy Dragon sprite. And when the dragon is created initially, he's going to start moving horizontally. We could also use this one again. I'm going to use this one. It's going to set his horizontal speed to 4, which means he'll be moving to the right. And in the event that he collides with the door, a couple of things are going to happen. One is the door is going to go away, and so I want to say other, which means whatever he ran into. I don't want to destroy the dragon. I actually just want to respawn him on the left side. Or we could also create a dragon spawner that releases dragons, but let's do it this way. The castle door, this collision will make him move, but now we're going to jump to a very specific location. We drag this one in here, and self is going to be jumping. If you think about a game maker room, assume that this little window I have is the actual room itself. In Game Maker, the 00 XY point is actually the very top left. And so to go positive X into the room, you go to the right. And to also go into the room on the y-axis, down is positive in Game Maker. I know it's not in algebra or geometry, but in Game Maker, down is positive y. So 32x is what I'm going to say for where he should jump to, which would be just over there on the left side. And I could set a y, however, he would always go back to the same y then. And so we're going to do a little trick here called random, and then room height. So it's going to pick a random value from the room height value. So if this value was 100, it would pick somewhere between 1 and 100. So anywhere vertically, but it always has to be on the left side as I designated here. So that's a little trick that we can use. And let's go check that out by first building out level 2. So I'm going to create a new room. Always want to name it in the settings, level 2. I'll zoom out here, go to my objects. Here's my wall, and I'm holding Control and Shift to set that again. Drop all these. Looks good. Here's my castle door. I'm just going to set some here. I'm going to make it too deep. You can change how you'd like. And I know I don't have a princess yet, but we do want, it says object 5 because I have not hit the OK button here. As soon as I hit OK on that, notice that changes this, so that's where it gets that information. But so I'm going to put one there and one a little bit closer to stagger them a little bit. And let's see what happens when we run the game. Oops. Problem number 1, I have to beat level 1, so we should have rearranged these. My fault. So they run in there, and then they respawn over on the left side. Occasionally, though, they will spawn in a tricky area that's right along the edge. So we can fix that, but that would get a little more complex than we want to get right now. So that actually looks pretty good. I'm guessing one of the guys spawned way at the top, and so he already ran past our wall, which is why it looks like there's only one left. But it's not perfect, but it looks pretty good. Here he would have hit the princess. Actually, there is an easy way to make sure that he doesn't sneak past along the wall there. All we need to do is add a collision event with that wall. And when he hits the blue wall, which means he accidentally spawned right on top of the wall, we'll just have him respawn. The exact same command from here. So I'll just Control C or copy that, go to my wall, and paste. So now, and I'm also going to put level 2 first. That's a little trick to testing a little bit faster. So now he won't spawn and go on top of the wall, because every time he spawns on top of the wall, he will respawn until he's no longer on the wall. Looks good. Now we're going to set our princesses up. So we're going to make a new object. We already have their sprite. Object princess, wearing the sprite princess. And she actually doesn't do a whole lot. She just kind of sits there. Where the action happens, I always like to do it on the item that's initiating the collision. In this case, it'd be the dragon, Goofy Dragon. And so when the Goofy Dragon, add event, collides with princess, what should it do? You could have it do a lot of things, restart the entire game, or I'm going to be a little bit nicer and say just restart the current room, which is this one. So that's a little bit nicer. If you wanted to take it a step further, we could add a controller that counts the number of princesses, and so maybe you just have to protect a certain number of them. And when the collision with the dragon between him and the princess, maybe it just destroys the princess and the dragon. And the counter could be counting how many princesses there are. Kind of like the old IBM missile base, protect the Earth kind of games where you have to save at least 7 out of 10, right? Apparently 3 are expendable. So this is one way we could do the game, and this is the simplest way depending on the age level of students we have. So let's go to level 2, and I'm going to put object princess, and I'm just going to line this wall right here with princesses. And if you want to make the game a little bit harder, we could put some more dragons in here. Oops, that's not dragons. There's the dragons. Let's try that. Save it. Let's play it. Takes a little bit longer to load now as we add more sprites, objects, sounds, etc. We haven't added sounds yet, but we will. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I can't click any of the dragons. What's going on? Yes, we need to add our click event with the dragon. And let's just test to make sure when he hits the princess something happens. Good, it restarted the level. Excellent. So the last thing we need to do is when the dragon is left mouse clicked, he should, well, actually we're going to destroy the dragon, not just jump him over there. That way when there's no more dragons we actually beat the level. Destroy self, that's what we want. And we're going to have a controller for level 2, and if you want you can just duplicate the controller from level 1. Control level 2 Goofy. So the only difference is in this one, instead of counting the green dragons, we now want it to count the Goofy dragons to go to the next room. So with a combination of controllers counting things and this and that, you could make the game more complex. But I just thought of something else. If you want to just use the same controller as from level 1, this works. If you want to go with this, go with that. However, in the free version of Game Maker, I think you can only have about 15. Actually, I'll leave that there. You can only have 15 objects. So one way to get around that is to make this sort of an AND statement. So not only is it counting these regular dragons, but I'm going to nest the counting of the next type of dragon. So if the number of green dragons is 0, then and only then will it then execute what is inside of my little blocks here. And inside those blocks, I'm going to require it to count the number of goofy dragons equals 0. So what this means is all the time be counting if the number of green dragons is 0 and the number of goofy dragons is 0, then go to next room. So that works in level 1 because, well, there are no goofy dragons, so all you have to do is kill all the green dragons. In level 2 it works because there's no green dragons, which means it's constantly actually running this little mini loop. Step 3, then 4, then 3, then 4. It keeps looping until there are no goofy dragons as well, and then goes to next room. So you can conserve your objects if you'd like and kind of combine these with a little bit of coding trickery. So whichever controller type you did, whether you separated them into different controllers or you combined them both, let's go verify that this one works. If you want to use this one, that's great. But you still just need to make sure you put one or the other inside of the room. So controller level 2 goofy, it's in the room. And theoretically, when I run this now, when all the dragons are gone, it should send us to the next room, which is ironically level 1 now, but it will send us to whatever one's next in the list is what's actually happening. Good, so I can click and click. They are destroying the walls. We already know they'll hit the princess if they can. And good, when I hit the last one, it took me to the next level. Looks good. If you want to make it harder, speed up the dragons. Set the horizontal speed higher. That's it for level 2. Thanks. Have fun.